I can't wait to tell you guys about this conversation I had a couple days ago, um, because I'm going to tell you this story, and it's like a gift. I'm going to give you a gift. It was given to me, and it kind of changed me and my wife's life. And now I get to pass that on to you guys. So, had this conversation the other day with a friend who was telling me that they never have guests over for dinner anymore at their house. The reason being, it had gotten so stressful. Every time they had a dinner party and had company over, it stressed the wife out so bad that the husband just said, listen, we're not having anybody over anymore because I don't want to put you through that stress. So I was talking to him, and basically she did days of cleaning leading up to the dinner. She was like, I was cleaning the house for days leading up to the event and then all the cooking, and it was just so stressful. So I was like, oh my gosh, let me tell you about this thing, this new concept. It's a gift. It'll change your life. So here's what an older guy told me years ago, and it's the game changer. He said this: if you do that the way so many people do, if you clean your house perfectly, everything's straightened, there's no socks on the living room floor, everything's perfect. If you've cleaned everything and you make an amazing dinner when people come over to your house, you'll have a great night, no doubt. But they are likely to never invite you over. They are likely to not reciprocate because you have just set the bar so unrealistically high. You've impressed them beyond what was necessary, and they can't live up to it. Your house looked like a catalog, and your food was gourmet, and they feel like they can't compete with that. You just won. It's like you won. I said this, and the woman I was talking with said, oh my gosh, that's so true. Those last people that we had over that I was so stressed cleaning for days, none of them have invited me over. She went like all out. It was something in the fall, and she was saying how she had miniature pumpkins all floating in some centerpiece arrangement, right? Like, you're like, who does that? It's like Martha Stewart stuff. And she was like, yep, you're right. They never invited me over. Okay, so if you do this, if you go all out like we think we're supposed to do, it's not going to turn out well. They won't reciprocate. So here's what this guy said to do. Here it is. He said, nowadays, when my wife and I, when we invite somebody over for dinner, we tell them, hey, we want to have you guys over for dinner, but we are not going to clean our house for you. We want you to just come over for dinner. We want to hang out with you guys. We want to talk. We want to get to know you better. And we'll either order a pizza or we'll, make some burgers. And we just want to hang out. Wear whatever you want. Don't need to bring anything. We're not cleaning. And then you got to really do that. It sounds good. And they're like, okay, that's odd. That's interesting. We'll see about that. We'll go try it out. But if you get there and no, they're like, they lied. They cleaned everything. It's not going to work. So you got to be willing to let people into your mess. And when people come over to your house and the kids' papers and notebooks and homework are piled up on the dining room table, and there's some socks and shoes on the living room floor, and there's that pile that everybody has in their house at the on the stairs, and you've got all that stuff there. There's some dirty dishes in the sink, and people walk into that, they relax, they feel comfortable. But even more importantly, they'll have you over. Because you just set the bar low. And they leave that night. When they go home, they're thinking, that was fun. We should have them over. Because in their minds, they're thinking, we can do even better than that. We could clean up better than that. I could, make better hamburger helper than that. And that's what you want them to think. Because they're right. They can do better. Because it wasn't a contest. I wasn't seeing how good I could do. This isn't competition. This is just about hanging over and being real, which is what we're all about, is being real. So Carrie and I we've strived to do that through the years. I'm laughing because some of you are probably thinking, yep, their house is always pretty messy. Well, now you know the secret, right? We've had people over for dinner, and we've made spaghetti, and we have the noodles that you buy in a box, and the sauce that you buy in a jar, and the meatballs that you buy frozen. Right? We'll have you over for spaghetti and meatballs, and we ain't Italian, and we ain't making none of it from scratch. Come on over. We're not cleaning the house. We'll have spaghetti and meatballs, because none of that is the point. The point isn't the house or the food. The point is the fellowship. So, my friend who shared this with me years ago had a name for it. I'm changing the name of it to Rugged Hospitality. This is called Rugged Hospitality. It's also real. It's rugged, and it's real, and it's hospitality. And I thought this would be a fun story to share with you guys in a mission brief, because as I was telling my friend, and I believe it's going to change the way they do things. So hopefully they'll be able to once again have people over for dinner, and no stress, no anxiety. Don't clean, don't worry. Who cares? Tell people ahead of time, we want to have you over, but we're not cleaning the house. This is Rugged Hospitality. Give it a try. It's a game changer. I've got a great announcement to make. This is unlike any announcement we've ever made. Everybody knows that what we do in Men's Alliance is only possible because of the support we get. We are not funded by any big organization. We are funded grassroots by tribesmen. It's just Men's Alliance dudes who flip tires and build fires every week, giving a little bit each month that makes what we do possible. We're now well over 100 tribes in 21 states. So that means we're almost halfway there, right? We need tribes in every city. And this is what is the most important thing we're doing, is we're changing the way Christian masculinity, the way biblical manhood in this country is viewed. We're changing it one fire at a time. And we can't do that without you guys' support. And you guys have been awesome at it. Over these past 12 months, we've been able to actually start paying part-time staff. So that means we've got guys who are waking up in the morning and doing MA. And that is a dream come true. And we want to keep this going. We want to keep growing. My goal is for there to be a tribe within a 30-minute drive of 90% of the men in America. And I think that we can do that. I think that can happen. But again, nothing happens without every tribesman rowing in the same direction. We ask that everybody give $5-10 a month. $27.17 a month is what we ask if you can. But today on this podcast, I want to recognize our tribesmen, our men, and some women who are giving at and above even that, who are giving at what we call our patch level, that being $93 a month. And we say $93 a month because that reminds us of the statistic that when a man, when the husband, when the father comes to Christ first, there's a 93% chance that his whole family will follow. That's why it's so important. You target the men, you go after the men, you get them, you get the whole family, 93% chance. So For everybody that gives $93 a month, that's what we call our patch level donors. And I wanted to take a minute on this podcast to recognize them because this is so important. So I was amazed when I looked at the spreadsheet to find that people have names given by their mother. Apparently, these are birth certificate names, not call signs, which means you won't recognize anybody. So it's super anonymous when we don't use call signs. But I got to recognize those who are giving at an extraordinary level to Men's Alliance every month. These are our recurring donors: George Allen, Andrew Flame, Adam Ashman, Seamus Higgins, April Campana, Jeremy Oliver, Brandon Young, Sam Wagman, Justin Wilson, Ray Wagman, Stephanie Smith, Matt Spencer, Scotty Maynard, Steven Serio, Todd Kuhn, Dustin Miller, Jeff Fantel, Garrett Pyle, Carl Hultgren, Dustin Parker, Rick Mullis, Ryan Baker, Ross Marshall, Connor Dillingham, Derek McMaster, Karen Beatty, Aaron Hill, Kevin Lopez, Matt Krantz, Tom Love, and Kevin Nitwich. Thank you guys so much for giving at and above, what is normal, what is typical, because you guys are investing to help us grow. If you guys can only give 5, 10, 20 bucks a month, please do it. When we get 1 million men giving $1 a month, we'll be unstoppable. And that is what's going to change the landscape in this country. We all know that Christianity is under attack in America. We all know that masculinity is under attack in America. So that means we are behind enemy lines. We are engaged in guerrilla warfare with every fire, every week, with every workout, with every devotion. We are working to turn that tide. Men find out about Men's Alliance through this podcast, and it's your financial support every month that helps us grow this podcast. So thank you very much. Thank you guys for donating. If you're not donating, please go to our website, men'salliancetribe.com, and support us with whatever you're able to do. Thank you.